You were born on a battlefield. Now, see where this long war began and where it ends. Israel. Join Derek and Sharon Gilbert and special guest Carl Teichrieb in the Holy Land this October, where you'll see things like this. Well, from Masada, the group traveled to En-Gedi, which was the place where David cut off the hem of Saul's robe.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
What that must have been like. And as you go in there, first of all, it's a beautiful park, and it is so peaceful to go in there. You get to be around these goats that whenever you read the shepherd David writing about goats and sheep, you see these special goats in there. And forgive me, I can't remember the name.
Ibex?
Ibex, yes. They're ibex. And boy, they have big horns.
They do, and they're not afraid of humans, but they're protected. So you are able to get very close to them, which is really neat.
It really is cool.
The other striking thing about En-Gedi is the amount of water that's there, because this is south of Jerusalem, and when you get south in Israel, it's usually very, very dry, especially around the Dead Sea. En-Gedi is on the west side of the Dead Sea, and yet you've got this spring, and it manifests in a waterfall.
Oh, and it was very hot there that day,
yes.
And that waterfall was so much appreciated.
Felt really, really good. So this was a really fascinating place to visit. We enjoyed dipping in the water. We enjoyed seeing the goats.
And one last thing before we leave En-Gedi, I want to mention this because I'm looking at my live photos of one of the ibex, and you can see where they go up into these trees and they get the leaves off of them, and it just, because its horns almost get caught. And it reminded me of when Abraham is told to sacrifice his son, and then he sees a ram caught in a thicket.
Right.
And of course, this is fulfilled. It was prophetic, because later on we see the crown of thorns put upon Christ's head. That's the representative of that ram being caught in the thicket.
Yes.
So a lot of things that you can learn. So you know what? If you ever get an opportunity to come with us, I think you will learn a great deal, even from places like this.
Absolutely. Join Derek and Sharon Gilbert and special guest, researcher, author, and lecturer Carl Teichrieb in Israel, October 19th through 30th, 2025. This is not the typical tour of Israel. For information and to reserve your place on the 2025 Gilbert House Tour of Israel, please log on to gilberthouse.org/travel. That's gilberthouse.org/travel.